What really happened behind the scenes when Jungkook finally broke his silence? And why did Taehyung, known to fans as V, suddenly lose control of his emotions in front of everyone? Was this the moment BTS had been silently building toward? Or a shocking turning point no one in ARMY was prepared to witness? Before you read further, ask yourself this. If the truth you had been waiting for finally came out, would it bring relief or heartbreak? Stay until the end, because what unfolds here is not just a story, but an emotional unraveling that has left millions questioning everything. And if you feel the weight of this moment too, don't stay silent. Share your thoughts, let your voice be heard, and join the conversation that continues to echo across the global stage. The atmosphere was already heavy long before Jungkook uttered his first word. There was a stillness, a kind of unspoken tension that lingered in the air, as though everyone present, and even those watching from afar, could sense that something significant was about to happen. Jungkook, often seen as the golden magne, the bright and resilient figure who carried both talent and charm with effortless grace, stood with a seriousness that immediately signaled this was different. This was not a performance. This was not a carefully choreographed moment. This was real. When he began speaking, his voice carried a weight that fans had rarely heard before. It wasn't just about addressing rumors or clarifying misunderstandings. It felt deeper, more personal, almost like a confession that had been held back for far too long. His words unfolded slowly, each sentence revealing fragments of a truth that had been hidden beneath layers of silence. He spoke about pressure, about expectations, about moments of doubt that had crept in, even when everything seemed perfect from the outside. And then came the apology. It wasn't a simple "I'm sorry." It was layered with emotion, filled with sincerity that resonated far beyond the surface. Jungkook's apology wasn't just directed at ARMY. It felt like it was directed at himself, at his members, at the journey that had shaped him into who he is today. He acknowledged the times he felt he couldn't meet expectations, the moments he questioned whether he was enough, and the burden of carrying not only his own dreams but also the hopes of millions. It was in that moment that everything shifted. Taehyung, who had been listening quietly, suddenly broke down. The reaction was immediate and visceral. Known for his composed yet expressive nature, Taehyung's tears were not subtle. They were raw, unfiltered, and impossible to ignore. His face reflected a mix of emotions: pain, empathy, understanding, and perhaps even regret. It was as though Jungkook's words had unlocked something deeply buried within him, something that could no longer be contained. Fans watching the moment unfold were left stunned. This wasn't just about Jungkook anymore. This was about the bond between them, the shared experiences that had shaped their lives, and the silent struggles they had endured together. Taehyung's tears spoke louder than any words could. They told a story of connection, of brotherhood, of knowing someone so deeply that their pain becomes your own. As Jungkook continued, his voice trembling but determined, Taehyung didn't look away. He listened, truly listened, as if every word mattered more than anything else in that moment. There was no attempt to hide his emotions, no effort to maintain composure for the sake of appearances. It was real, and that authenticity resonated with everyone who witnessed it. What made this moment even more powerful was the realization that this wasn't scripted. There was no filter, no barrier between the artists and their audience. It was a rare glimpse into a reality that is often hidden behind the polished image of global stardom. It reminded everyone that beneath the success, the fame, and the admiration, there are human beings with vulnerabilities, fears, and emotions that cannot always be controlled. ARMY's reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Across social media platforms, fans expressed their shock, their concern, and their unwavering support. Many described feeling a mix of emotions: heartbreak from seeing Taehyung cry, empathy for Jungkook's honesty, and a deep sense of connection that made them feel closer to the group than ever before. Others began to reflect on past moments, searching for clues that might have hinted at what Jungkook was going through. But perhaps the most striking aspect of this reaction was the sense of unity it created. Fans from different parts of the world, speaking different languages, sharing different backgrounds, all came together in response to this single moment. It became more than just a news story. It became a shared experience, a collective emotional journey that transcended boundaries. As the moment continued to unfold, Taehyung eventually tried to compose himself, but the impact of Jungkook's words was still evident. His eyes, still filled with tears, reflected a depth of emotion that words could not fully capture. When he finally spoke, his voice carried a softness that contrasted with the intensity of the moment. It wasn't about making a statement or delivering a message. It was about connection, about reassurance, about letting Jungkook know that he wasn't alone. That perhaps was the most powerful takeaway from this entire situation. In a world where perfection is often expected and vulnerability can be seen as weakness, this moment challenged that perception. It showed that strength can exist in honesty, that courage can be found in admitting struggles, and that true connection is built on understanding and empathy. The aftermath of this moment continues to ripple through the community. Fans are still discussing it, analyzing it, and finding new meaning in what was said and what was felt. Some see it as a turning point, a moment that could lead to greater openness and authenticity in the future. Others see it as a reminder of the pressures that come with fame and the importance of supporting those who carry that burden. But one thing is certain. This was not just another moment in the world of entertainment. This was something deeper, something more profound, something that will be remembered long after the headlines fade. And now the question remains, what comes next? Will this moment bring change, healing, or perhaps even a new chapter for Jungkook, Taehyung, and BTS as a whole? Or will it remain a powerful but isolated glimpse into a reality that continues to stay hidden behind the spotlight? Whatever the answer may be, one thing is clear. The bond between BTS and ARMY has been tested, strengthened, and redefined in ways that few could have anticipated. So what do you think really happened in that moment? Was it simply an emotional reaction, or was it something much bigger? A sign of deeper truths waiting to be revealed? The story doesn't end here. In many ways, it's only just beginning. The silence that followed felt almost louder than the moment itself, as if the entire world had paused to process what had just unfolded. Even after Jungkook finished speaking, his final words lingering in the air like an echo that refused to fade, the emotional weight of his confession continued to ripple outward. And beside him, Kim Taehyung stood not just as a fellow member of BTS, but as someone who had clearly been affected on a level that went far beyond what the public could fully understand. For a brief moment, it seemed as though Taehyung was searching for something. Words, perhaps, or the strength to regain composure. But instead of forcing himself into silence, he allowed his emotions to remain visible, raw, and unfiltered. His tears were no longer just a reaction. They had become a language of their own, communicating what could not be easily spoken. And in that fragile space between words, something shifted once again. Jungkook noticed. There was a subtle change in his expression, a flicker of concern mixed with something deeper. Maybe guilt, maybe understanding, maybe both. The apology he had delivered moments before now seemed to take on an even heavier meaning, as if seeing Taehyung's reaction made him realize just how far-reaching his words truly were. It wasn't just about ARMY anymore. It was about the people closest to him, the ones who had walked alongside him through every high and low, the ones who had silently carried their own burdens without ever letting them fully show. And suddenly, the distance between them felt non-existent. Jungkook took a small step forward, hesitant at first, as though unsure whether to close the emotional gap that had just been exposed. But Taehyung didn't pull away. If anything, he leaned into that moment, allowing the connection between them to become visible in a way that fans rarely get to see. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't exaggerated. It was quiet but powerful. a shared understanding that didn't need to be explained. For those watching, it was impossible not to feel it. Across the global community of ARMY, reactions began to evolve from shock into something more reflective. Many started to revisit past interviews, past performances, past interactions between the members, searching for subtle signs that might now carry new meaning. Moments that once seemed lighthearted were now being re-examined through a different lens. A glance, a pause, a quiet exchange. Everything suddenly felt significant. But what stood out most was the realization that perhaps this had been building for a long time. The pressure of maintaining an image, the constant expectations, the invisible weight of representing not just themselves but an entire global phenomenon. These were not new challenges. Yet seeing Jungkook articulate even a fraction of that struggle and witnessing Taehyung's emotional response made it feel real in a way that statistics, achievements, and headlines never could. As time passed, Taehyung finally spoke again, but his voice carried a different tone now. It was softer, steadier, yet still fragile around the edges. He didn't try to overshadow Jungkook's words or redirect the focus. Instead, he seemed to build on them, adding layers of understanding rather than answers. There was a sense that he wasn't just speaking to Jungkook, but also to ARMY, bridging the gap between what had been revealed and what was still left unsaid. And in doing so, he revealed something unexpected. He hinted at shared struggles. Not in a way that sought sympathy, but in a way that emphasized connection. The idea that what Jungkook had expressed was not isolated, that behind the scenes, there were countless moments of doubt, reflection, and emotional conflict that fans rarely see. It didn't diminish Jungkook's apology. If anything, it amplified it, showing that his words were part of a much larger story, one that involved every member in different ways. This revelation added another layer of complexity to the moment, because now it wasn't just about understanding Jungkook. It was about reconsidering everything people thought they knew about BTS as a whole. The image of unbreakable confidence and endless energy began to blur, replaced by something more human, more relatable, and perhaps even more powerful. The emotional intensity didn't fade quickly. Even as the moment began to settle, its impact remained evident in the smallest details. The way Jungkook avoided eye contact for a brief second, as if trying to gather himself. The way Taehyung wiped his tears but didn't fully hide them. The subtle shifts in posture, the quiet pauses between words. Each of these details told a story that went beyond what was being said out loud. And for ARMY, these details mattered. They became part of a larger narrative, one that fans would continue to discuss, analyze, and interpret long after the moment had passed. Some saw it as a sign of growth, a step toward greater openness and honesty. Others saw it as a moment of vulnerability that should be protected rather than dissected. But regardless of interpretation, there was a shared understanding that something important had happened, something that couldn't simply be forgotten. As the scene drew closer to its end, there was no grand resolution, no clear conclusion that tied everything together neatly. Instead, what remained was a sense of ongoing emotion, a feeling that this was not the end of a story, but a turning point within it. Jungkook's apology still lingered. Taehyung's tears still resonated, and the connection between them, now more visible than ever, continued to leave an impression that words alone could not fully capture. But perhaps the most compelling aspect of this entire moment was what it revealed about the nature of truth. Not the kind of truth that can be summarized in headlines or reduced to simple explanations, but the kind that exists in layers, in emotions, in the spaces between what is said and what is felt. Jungkook's words may have been the catalyst, but the reaction they sparked, especially from Taehyung, transformed them into something far greater. A shared experience, a reminder, a question that still lingers, waiting for an answer that may never fully come. Because even now, as fans continue to revisit and reflect on what happened, one thought remains impossible to ignore. If this is what was revealed, then how much is still left hidden beneath the surface? And more importantly, are we truly ready to understand it? The question lingered in the air long after the moment had passed, refusing to fade no matter how many times it was replayed, reinterpreted, and revisited by those who witnessed it. If what Jungkook revealed was only a fragment of the truth, then what remained hidden beneath the surface? And why did Kim Taehyung react as though he had just heard something far more profound than what words alone could convey?